Point wastewater treatment plant, these wind turbines. Like John said, we own many more generating assets. We sell, I think, all of our RECs to Green Energy Consumers Alliance from all of our generating assets that we own or are owned on our behalf. But let me tell you about where we are here now. This is the Fields Point plant. It takes a lot of energy, to turn raw sewage into water that's clean enough to discharge into the Providence River right over there. That's where our outfall is. So that's what we're doing here, using a tremendous amount of energy. We own and operate 2 plants. So all of our facilities used 35 million kilowatt hours of electricity last year. And the cost was well over 20 cents a kilowatt hour that we paid. Do the math, and that's over $8 million for the annual electric bill. So we take energy very seriously here. As John said, we're 70 to 80% of our way towards self-supplying 100% of our own electricity. Because we sell all the RECs, though, we can't claim the greenhouse gas emission reductions ourselves. The buyers, such as some of you perhaps, can. So Rhode Island's an interesting place to be doing this. I think Amanda's going to talk about upcoming legislation, and we're keeping eyes on that, and we're struggling to do what we can. So let me get into some more details. These were the first wind farm in Rhode Island in 2012. Portsmouth Abbey, they installed one first, but that's not a farm. We had 3, we can call it a small wind farm, or perhaps I like to call it a wind garden, right? It's not that big. But, I'm not sure if you know, I bet you're an audience that knows a lot, but I'll go into some basics. These are spaced pretty close together. They're only 3 rotor diameters apart from each other. And that's so that we can fit them on our property. They always face into the wind. There's a weather vane on top, essentially, and also an anemometer, a wind speed meter. And so the weather vane tells it what direction the wind's coming from, and they're always pointing in the direction of the wind. There's none right now, right? But when there is at least 3 meters per second wind, they're pointing up at the wind, and they start spinning. The blades will catch the wind and start spinning. At 10.3 meters per second wind speed, that's a pretty stiff wind speed. They'll be outputting that 1.5 megawatts that Aaron mentioned. So that when it's windy, and it often is here, they're outputting 4.5 megawatts. Our plant uses, like John said, 1.6 megawatts. So we're exporting that extra wind power on to the grid during that time. We're using what we can, the 1.6, and exporting over 3 megawatts many times. So it's pretty cool. It's a bidirectional, it's called a bidirectional utility billing meter. Let's see. So yeah, they've been spinning for over 10 years now. They're expected to pay for themselves within about 13 to 14 years, right? Kind of a long payback, but we're here for the long run. We're a municipality, and we're committed, and we're doing what we can. So they've almost paid for themselves, right? They were installed and started spinning in 2013. And they'll last for 20 years. So they'll pay for themselves within their lifetime. We're regulated by the PUC. It's very important to us that we're making wise investments. And that's what our energy program does. It's saving our ratepayers money. So we're not paying that little bit extra, we're paying a little less, for sure, with our ratepayers in mind, right? It's a lot to do, it's a lot to manage, and now we have more and more things to do with the building initiative Amanda's going to talk about. We have 2 brand new buildings at Buckland Point, and that CHP engine that John talked about, it burns biogas. Biogas is a renewable resource. That should be starting soon, and generating credits that we're going to look for a buyer for, because it's important for us, like I said, to pay off these investments, and that's what we'll do with our RECs. We have to sell them until we can pay them off. Perhaps after that, we can start retiring them and then calling ourselves greener and claiming those greenhouse gas reductions, especially with the new legislation that's coming through.
It's a lot like with solar. If any of you have solar on your home or know about solar on your home, usually you're gonna sell your renewable energy credits for about 10 years, but then and to help you pay off your solar system. But then after that, you're going to keep them, and you're going to be considered green power, and you're keeping them away from people who would be buying them, which means the utilities, since they're mandated to buy them, will be looking elsewhere for more RECs, which helps drive demand. So a lot of you, anybody who's done solar has done exactly what Barry's talking about.